Hi, this is Diane Lovetobake on YouTube. And what we're going to make are honey ginger snap cookies. This particular cookie, well, if you like ginger and you like honey, you're going to love this cookie. And it's relatively very easy to make. So let's get started. First, let's start off with a half a cup of solid shortening, and I'm going to put that in my mixer bowl here. Now you can use your hand mixer for this if you don't want to use your stand, but I find for the video I think it goes a lot faster this way. You're also going to be needing a quarter cup of butter, and I went ahead and I cut it up into small pieces, and it's been sitting at room temperature. In fact, my kitchen is very warm right now. And I'm going to warn you about the sound of the mixer. And we're just going to start to cream the butter and the shortening together. A few minutes with that because you want it to be very light, well blended, and quite fluffy, but I'm moving it along due to the video. The next thing you're going to put in is a cup of granulated sugar. Again, warning you about the sound of the mixer. Once you see that a minute or two, that's all combined and quite smooth and fluffy, then you know to go to your next ingredient. The next ingredient is the honey, and we're going to put a quarter cup of honey in that. I'm going to use my knife here to get it all out. I like to sometimes spray my bowls or my measuring cups with a liquid oil spray, because then honey and molasses, it tends to not stick into the container. So let's beat that together. Now I'm just going to do a quick check on the sides of my mixing bowl and get to the bottom with my spatula. At this time, we're going to put in 1 egg, and it's been at room temperature. And let's beat and cream that in. Again, beat that till, again, it's very smooth and very fluffy. The last thing that you're going to put in the wet ingredients is vanilla, and that's 1 teaspoon. Once again, I want to get to the bottom of my bowl, and I want to show you what it looks like. And again, I would beat this, you know, a lot longer, probably a minute or two, to really make sure that it's well combined. Now, let's work on the dry. You will need 2 cups of all-purpose flour. In that, you're going to put 1 tablespoon of ground ginger. Again, I mentioned 1 tablespoon. I know that's going to seem like a lot, but if you make these cookies and you try them, and oh, they're really delicious. And then I'm just, you know, as you see, stirring that into the flour. You're also going to be putting in 2 teaspoons of baking soda. And again, I always get, you know, questions a lot of times, you know, did you really say 2? Yes, 2 teaspoons of baking soda. Also, just mix that in well with your spoon. We're also going to need salt. So you are going to put in 1/8 of a teaspoon. Not too much salt there, 1/8 of a teaspoon. And the last thing that you're going to be putting in is cloves, and that's 1/8 of a teaspoon too. Now, Cloves do have a quite pungent taste to them, and some people don't like cloves. So if you don't, I would substitute it for cinnamon. But I think if you make them with the cloves, you'll see that there's a real value to that spice added to this cookie, because it really does make a difference. But again, some people just hate cloves, you know. Okay. Now, what I also want you to do is I want you to set aside in a separate bowl a half a cup of granulated sugar, okay? And I have that in that bowl, okay? Now let's go back and start combining slowly the dry with the wet on medium speed. So again, I'm going to warn you about the mixer. It can be loud. And I'm just going to put a little in at a time till it forms a cookie dough. Of course, you don't want this to be too loud because you don't want flour to be all over your kitchen. And we'll just keep adding by tablespoons. Just put the rest of that in at this time. And again, just stay with it on medium speed till it, you know, becomes a cookie ball. Or cookie dough, you prefer that. Okay. I'm just going to take my paddle out. Take my excess off of that. Now you are going to preheat your oven at 350 degrees, and these cookies come up fast. You know, they can take 8 to 10 minutes. I have had mine come up in 6 minutes. So, you know, all our ovens are set up so different. So do watch them, and watch them very closely, because they're a thinner cookie. So they bake up really quick. They really do. If you're doing 2 trays at a time, remember to rotate them, that kind of thing. What I would suggest though, when they do come out of the oven, let them sit on your cookie tray for a few minutes, because if you try to take them off of your hot tray, they tend to crack and break up because they're really delicate at that stage, okay? So I'm going to just show you what the cookie ball looks like at this time. Okay, so you're going to get quite a bit. In fact, I get about 3 dozens. It depends on the size that you make them. What you're going to do next is you're going to need, of course, a cookie sheet or pan. Put your parchment paper on it if that's what you want to do, or lightly grease them, whatever that you prefer again. And then what I would suggest to do is just take about an inch ball with your fingers, roll it in the palm of your hand, and then just simply roll it in the granulated sugar. Now, if you want to use colored sugars instead of the granulated, feel free to do that too. That's up to you. And set these cookies about 2 inches apart. They are going to spread because they do bake up to a thinner cookie. In fact, I've used these cookies in wedged ice cream in the center of them, and they're just delicious with a French vanilla ice cream or that kind of thing. So, you know, give some spacing on your tray. Now, with a glass, which I didn't have with me, had to go over there and get it. I just like to rub a little sugar on the bottom of it, of the flat bottom, and then just press it out. Now, if you don't want them too thin, don't press as hard. I like them to be really thin. I just think they taste delicious on their own, or like I said, I've used, put ice cream between them. I've put melted marshmallow between them, frostings, oh, you name it. This cookie is really delicious. Let me rinse my hands. Again, 350, 8 to 10 minutes, but watch them close and let them sit when they're hot on your cooling rack, and then remove them carefully to your cooling rack till they're completely cool, that you're ready to serve them or eat them or that kind of thing. So I want to wash my hands quickly because I have been working with raw cookie dough, of course. I want to tell you that I no longer put the recipe below my videos. It's really not worth it for me anymore because so many people are taking my work and bringing them, posting them and taking them on other sites. So it's not worth the time. So I hope that I went through everything slowly enough that you could, get the recipe. And this is how they bake up. They really make for just delicious cookies. And again, you can see now, if you don't want it to be as crisp, then take it out earlier. If you want it to be not as, have a snap to it. But after all, they are called snaps, and they're supposed to be, when you break them, you hear a snap. But there, there's different variations. You can see the bottom is just a beautiful golden brown. That ginger and the honey adds so much color and richness. And when this bakes in the oven, your whole kitchen, people are going to come in and find out what you're baking and want to eat them before they're even cool. They're that good. So what I want to do now is just take one and break it. And I don't know whether or not you're going to be able to hear that snap, but it has also a nice chewy type center. It is a, like I said, a hard shell cookie on the top and on the bottom. But when you break it, it does have that chew factor to it, that type of thing. And like I said, you can see how perfect they are to wedge them between some type of filling, ice cream or whatever, or just eat them alone. They're absolutely delicious cookies. I always want to tell you, I can't thank you enough for watching Diane Lovetobake, because all my videos are only and solely shown on YouTube. And if you try this recipe and you like it, well, leave a comment, because I do like to hear from you. What's frustrating though, if you're writing comments on my videos somewhere else other than YouTube, I don't get that message and I can't even answer them, and it's so frustrating. So if you're so inclined, try the recipe and, well, let me hear from you. That would be fantastic. If you like the video, please give me a like, or if you're so inclined, subscribe to the channel or ring the bell. It is just so greatly appreciated by me. So there you have it. You've got honey ginger snaps cookies, really relatively easy to make. They're really a good cookie to serve any time of the year, not just fall. That's it for me. So I want to thank you again for watching Diane Lovetobake on YouTube, and I will see you soon.